What's going on, you guys? I painted the Bellator Star Destroyer, and I just wanted to do a quick video kind of showing it off to you guys a little bit. I didn't really do as much on the bottom because, well, bottom's kind of like my test when I'm painting, and I figured I would show you more of the top where I spent more of my time doing this. But yeah, I basically I did a whole lot of things to it. I took different types of gray, and I'm going to go in real close so you can kind of get a look at the material after it's painted. Because if you watch my unboxing video, we put some primer on it, but you can see like that it's the lesser quality material, so still a little fuzzy is what I like to call it. It's still pretty good, especially considering how big this thing is. Still really good. And I've got my little practice card out here too. This is not an actual card, just so you don't freak out. No, I don't have, this is just paper. This is just paper. I put little lights on there too, so it looks like it's lit up. Now the funny thing is, I did intend for it to be more gray, to kind of match, more Imperial gray, to kind of match this kind of Imperial gray. But one of the things was, like, in all of these lines, it got a lot of the gray went in there because a lot of these lines are a little bit thick and they're not as contrasted as well as maybe a higher, like the $600 version, if you got it all on the frosted, would be. So a lot of my gray went down into the grooves, and I was kind of hoping that with the black primer, the gray would just kind of hit more on the top level. But the interesting thing is, so I put a wash on it, and that made the whole thing a lot darker. Now, I watered down my wash really good so it didn't look splotchy at all, but I put a little bit of blue in with, like, I used Nuln Oil and water, but I also put some, I think it's like Nightshade Blue or whatever the dark blue Citadel wash is. I mixed a little bit of that in there to make it a kind of a midnighty kind of wash. And that ended up, putting just the slightest hint of blue, which is actually pretty good sometime when you're going for blacks on a miniature. So that much is pretty cool. But the really cool part on it is that when I went back over it with some grays and stuff, there was a lot of different contrasts and different parts of gray that I could get, and I kind of liked that. So I'm gonna put it up on. I printed out a little flight stand. I'm gonna take a look at it because I got to do a little more work to this. So basically what I've done here is I just have a piece of paper over the top of the basic two bases that are on here. I don't have the capability to print on really high quality cardboard right now, but one of the things I noticed is that, at least for this one, a length of paper is exactly the length that I needed to do it as is. So I'm kind of having to go back over with a little marker and extend, because my printer's not going to print all the way to the very, very, very edge of the paper, and I don't want to get it on my here we go. I don't want to get it on my actual base. I don't want to get marker on my base. So what I'll do is I'll put a regular piece of paper underneath, and then we'll just go boop, 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 kind of like this. So this way I can get the black all the way to the edge. And it's funny because the black on here, I could have just went with black and just designed one from scratch, but I actually always like to start with like an official template. So I pulled up the image from FFG's site of like where they're showing how the Star Destroyer overlaps the base. And one of the things I thought was pretty funny is, like, it was a smaller picture, so when I blew it up to like higher enough resolution to print, it was all kinds of fuzzy. And that's so kind of why this whole thing looked kind of fuzzy. Like you can see right here, like this was like where the name of the ship was. There we go. So that's good enough for right now. And but this I will probably need to put something on here, at least in between these two, because if you're moving it around, you can push these two together. And I think that's because this is probably not in all the way. I need to push that down a little more. There we go. There we go. Yeah, now it doesn't really push together. You can still kind of bend it a little bit, but I think it kind of slipped out. So it shouldn't really go apart too much more anymore. But I did. These were easy to do because I just basically took this image and went into the snipping tool and just cut this part out or copied that, pasted it. I actually did this in PowerPoint, so it was very, very low tech. Anybody can do it if you've got PowerPoint available. And I just copied them and pasted the those same images right here. It's got the shield values, the sections, and much higher resolution. And I do need to set all my shield dials. There we go. And yeah, and so I mean, there's still a whole lot of information we still don't have on trying to play test a Superstar Destroyer, and this isn't the actual size. I had to do a lot of cutting and pasting, and I had to do a lot of trial and error, guesswork on where to get the holes in here to get these to kind of go in right and fit with this whole thing. Because if you look at the Gen Con pictures, it looks like you've got almost 3 ISD's bases lined up. It's like maybe like 2 ISD bases with like maybe 80% of another large ship base in between. That's kind of my takeaway when I look at the pictures. I'm not sure the exact measurements, but it's definitely larger than this. It's definitely like at least another small ship's base worth. But I think it's closer to a medium ship's base worth in between. That's probably a pretty good guess. To try to guess how large it's going to be. And I'm okay with that because, again, this is only supposed to be the command prototype and not necessarily the whole thing. So let's take a look at it with all of the other ships next to it. All right, so there it is, kind of taking its place amongst the fleet. Now, my Imperial fleet has grown. I had done a video a while back kind of showcasing my entire Imperial fleet. And I think that's gonna be workable. It's actually, I could probably trim it up just a little bit, but it's good enough for some quick play testing. I think that's gonna be a good enough base. It's gonna be able to get a lot of shots in there too. It's still a pretty wide front arc. I think it'll be fun to play it, and I think it's looking pretty good alongside these other ships. I like it next to a Victory because it really looks huge next to a Victory. It's not that huge with an ISD there, like going from straight ahead. I mean, it's still a lot bigger than an ISD, but looks more Superstar Destroyer-ish next to the smaller ships. Now, we do have a Purgle over here. He's not part of the Imperial fleet. It's another Mel Miniatures one. So. But so here's the whole fleet, and we also have the green fleet over off to the side, and there it's like basically one of each type of ship that was done up in my black and green color scheme. And so let's see what else we have. We did pick up a second Chimera, but only one of them looks like the Chimera, and actually I think it was this one that I repainted to not be Chimera anymore, and that one is, yeah, you can't even see it anymore. I did a kind of a different blend, so if you can tell, it's not exactly the same gray as that ISD. Very close, not exactly the same, but it's still, it doesn't stand out too much. It still looks Imperial, and it looks a little different. So you could just say that's maybe that's a Kuat, and that Kuat looks a little different than maybe Simon's do. That's pretty cool. So I do want to say that these are going to look really good on a huge battle report, and I am trying to, if you haven't already seen, I'm trying to get a new table going on right now. So if you guys wouldn't mind sharing my link, I will go ahead and put that down in the, or rather clicking on my link and signing up with it, rather. Click on my link and enter this contest. You can enter to win a table yourself, but by signing up through my link, it does help me have a shot at winning a really nice table of Ultimate Gaming table. So I would appreciate it if you guys would do that. And you're entering to win by a $25 Cool Stuff gift card. So that's also pretty cool, and you can use that for a gaming expansion of your choice. You do also have to be a subscriber as well, so make sure you click that subscribe button and click the bell for alerts too, so you don't miss out on new stuff. But man, these things are so beautiful. I can't wait to run just a monstrously huge fleet and run something like, could you imagine just trying to run all of that at once, or even all of that without the green? Still a lot. I couldn't run all of that because I think there's 3 Gazantes in there, because bought 3 before they, yes, the other one's over here. There's that little hider. There's that Haydn Gazanti. Yep. So, yeah, and this interdictor actually has some, just a little bit of red in the gravity wells there, which is fun. They normally go over there in that spot right there, but that's not going to hold all of them anymore. Like, my Rebels are down there. I had to borrow a couple of bases because I don't have enough bases. I got some of my Imperial ships on Rebel bases right now because I didn't have the 2 spare bases for this guy, so I begged, borrowed, and stealed from other factions to have enough to do it, but it's enough to set it all up. I might end up having to get some extra bases, or maybe I'll just display this guy. He'll actually stand up pretty good on his own. So a lot of stuff we can do with this. I want to thank you guys though for watching, having fun just talking about Super Star Destroyers. Hoping we get a new preview article very, very soon. I want to hear more information, like what are, and how are large ships, and huge ships gonna work. Are cards that are restricted to large ships gonna also be able to be used on huge ships? I would hope so, but maybe not. It'd be interesting. Be interesting to see what they've come up with. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.